Marvelous Designer is not just for clothing. It can be used, obviously, in conjunction with furniture items. And the process is basically the same. So, in Blender, we just need to export the parts that we are going to import into Marvelous. So, select the meshes. Don't necessarily need to be UV mapped or have textures. So what we do is select, File, Export, OBJ. Browse to the location that we're going to save the file to so that we can access it for import into Marvelous. Selection only if there are multiple objects in the scene. Everything else is okay. And then just export. Then in Marvelous, we have to first import. So we want File, Import, OBJ. So we're just going to do exactly the same thing as we would do with an avatar and bring in the object that we're going to use for our clothing template. So Lounger, Open. We'll get the import dialog as always. We don't need arrangements points for furniture items. So disable. Everything else is okay. And then OK. And that will bring in the furniture item that we can use as our avatar, essentially, in Marvelous. So once we've got that, same process as always. We need to draw out our shape. Position it where we want it to be. And then just simulate. Start playing around. So drag, click drag. So here, for example, we're just creating a simple towel or small blanket scrunched up on the furniture item. To make it a little easier to see what's going on, we can enable wireframe overlay. That just allows us to see how the clothing or the item is folding and how it's structured as we're moving it. Once we're happy with what we've got, we can then save the project. File, Save Project. And then just export. Make sure our object is selected. File, Export, OBJ. Get the export dialog, just the patterns, single object, weld, thin mesh, unified UV coordinates, diffuse map, that's fine, everything else is okay. Save with absolute texture image file path, and then just OK. So in Blender we can then import the object that we've just exported from Marvelous. So in this case, File, Import, OBJ, browse to our file, launcher tile, default settings are OK, and then import, and there is our towel. Obviously a little bit of work needs to be done to this to optimize it for IMVU, but that is basically the simple process using Marvelous Designer to simulate some cloth furniture items.